I'm so in love with you.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Today's video is your Thursday housing market update. So today what we're going to do is we're going to analyze the updated graph from Fred for 30-year fixed rate mortgages just to see what the average interest rate is for all of the combined loans, not just conventional. And finally, the inventory chart for April has been updated on Fred as well. So we're going to go over the updated figures for April's inventory, and then we're going to conclude with me accessing my local MLS and studying my local market as we've been doing the past few Thursdays. So we're going to look and see if we can find anything at $120 a square foot, any price breaks, or any homes being on the market longer than normal, right? So buckle up, and I hope you enjoy this video. But before I continue, please understand, you guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a YouTuber, and for the algorithm, if you could please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and realize even though this channel is just about my opinions or just about my thoughts, my local job is as a realtor, as a loan officer in Texas, and an instructor in Texas. So I love being around all things real estate. Now let's get started right now by taking a look at Fred Economics data updated chart on 30-year fixed rate mortgages. Okay guys, so here's the updated chart right here, and this is a 1-year view. Now as you can see, the new interest rate is 5.3% as of May 12, 2022, which is today's date. So they are up from 5.27 to 5.30, which essentially is only a 3 basis point increase. And you guys, what's really interesting to note about this is, well, first of all, interest rates are going up. That's a fact. They're probably just going to continue to go up throughout the year. What I find really interesting, you guys, is at the beginning of this year, the Federal Reserve only increased the federal funds rate or discount rate 25 basis point, right? They increased it 25 basis points, yet mortgage interest rates went up almost 2%, not 2%, but almost 2% on average. Fast forward to today, the Federal Reserve increased the federal funds rate or discount rate 50 basis points, yet mortgage interest rates only went up 0.03 basis points. So it's very important to understand that the reason for the mortgage interest rates going up is not necessarily because of the federal funds rate. The Federal Reserve is also selling mortgage-backed securities. And that's why you see the interest rates on mortgages greatly accelerate past the federal funds rate, is because the selling of mortgage-backed securities, and also keep your eye on the 10-year treasury being over 3%. So essentially lenders aren't making as much money on the same interest rates, so they have to go even higher and higher and higher on their mortgage interest rates just to make the same amount of profit. Very interesting to point out. Now I want to take a look at the graph from Fred Economic Data. And by the way, all of these graphs are going to be in my description below under data source. So I encourage you, follow along the data with me and start seeing inventory go up, less investor demand, and really track where the interest rates are going. So remember, the interest rates are leading everything else, right? So interest rates, and then what follows that, sales construction. What follows that is prices. What follows that is inventory. So it all starts with the interest rates. So it's very important to note that, but let's go into the inventory graph right now. Okay, here's our Fred economic data graph for housing inventory or active listing count in the United States. This is not pending houses, this is active listings. And as expected, the inventory did go up from 381 to 409, 473, right? So not a lot. So my estimate is by May or next month that this number is going to be 500,000. So watch out for that with me, you guys. I'm anticipating 500,000. And remember, by August, I'm saying inventory is going to be up to about right here at 700 to 800,000 houses on the market to be sold. So it's going to be interesting to take a look at that. Now, if I go into the 1-year view, you can already see inventory is starting to go up, but that as it should go up. It should continue to go up from here on out throughout the year. So keep your eye on this graph. Again, it's going to be in the description, but we did have an inventory increase in April, just like I thought. Now, it wasn't a big inventory increase, but it's better than inventory decrease like we've been having the past, I don't know how many months. So we're finally starting to see the interest rates skyrocketing, starting to do their job, right? It trickles down the line, inventory increasing being the kind of the last thing that catches up. But we're starting to see inventory come on the market. I'm saying we're going to see 500,000 homes that are active on MLS in May. In August, I'm hoping 700 to 800,000. Now, where I want to end today, guys, is I want to explore my local MLS just to see if I can see any patterns yet of a cooling. And as I'm always preaching to you guys, what you need to do is watch your own local market. And you could do that by going to sites like Redfin, even Zillow. But one thing is for sure, you need to keep watching it almost every day because you need to understand the patterns, right? No one is going to care more about your investing in real estate than you are. So you have to continue to do your due diligence. One way to do that is constantly monitoring your local market. So we're going to monitor my local market here in Houston right now. Okay, guys, here's my local market. As you can see, Houston's right here. I like to look north of that. I don't like to live around, downtown cities for obvious reasons or metros. I like to live in the outskirts. Usually you get a better deal. So we're going to stay in Kingwood as always. Now, first, let's see if that house sold that I found last week. Last week, I found a house that was under $120 a square foot. I realize that sounds low, but we have other factors that, make things more expensive, like property tax compared to across the nation. But let's find that 299 house. Let's see, where is it? All right, so here's the house from last week at 299. It's already under contract. So you see here, it's under $120 a square foot. It lasted 5 days. So it's already under contract after 5 days, like I thought on my last Thursday update video. So that house is gone because it's more realistic, right? But let's go down here. I've been showing you guys these houses here. These houses were all price cuts right here. Now look at this house. One of the houses finally went under contract. It's the one that let's take a look at more in detail. Now look at it's $126 a square foot, so it's much more reasonable. There was a price cut on this one of $25,000. Took 34 days on the market to sell and a $25,000 drop in its price. But I also want to show you something that I found down here. So it's more than just price per square foot now, right? Buyers are starting to get back our power. I want to show you this house down here, you guys, because look at this, okay? It's greatly under $120 a price per square foot. It's actually $106 a price per square foot. So you're probably asking, Travis, why aren't you buying it? And look at this. It's been on the market 20 days. The reason why no one is buying this, I'm going to show you these pictures right now. First of all, it's being sold as an as-is condition, which means the seller is not willing to negotiate. Because the seller's not willing to negotiate, people aren't buying it. Now, here's the thing. I was going through the pictures. I'm like, wow, this house is amazing. I'm going to go out, put an offer right now until I saw this picture right here. Now, I don't know if this is some piece of art of like a face that's staring down at the kitchen or what, but to me, it looks like insulation coming out of the ceiling. So it looks like insulation coming out of the ceiling. That's probably why it's sitting on the market. Buyers are starting to lose that fear of missing out. And it's evident in that house, being that it's pretty big. It's pretty far under market value. But again, if the seller's not willing to negotiate to fix up the house to make it in what appears to be living condition, people aren't going to purchase it. But I also want to show you another house that I found, you guys, over here at 425,000. Let's pull this up, okay? I'm going to show you what I have found. Now look at another house very close to $120 a square foot. This is now $123 a square foot. It says days on market 5, but look at this price decline. It dropped $25,000 roughly in purchasing price. In listing price. So this one's down $25,000 price reduction, more at where I'm looking at, which is $123 a square foot. 5 days on the market. Now, I'm going to expand this a little bit, and I want to show you guys, look at all the inventory. So the active inventory is in green. every week that I'm doing these videos, I hope you're starting to see a lot more active inventory. You see this? There's a lot more active inventory. Look at the pockets down here. There's a lot more options for people that are looking in this area, and the house prices are finally kind to start to level out. And for all the prices that are listed that are way above the normal trends, we're starting to see price breaks. But take a look at these new builds right here. These are all spec homes in green. The orange are the ones under contract. So this new home builder actually has more spec homes being built than ones under contract. Now, I'm always telling you guys, new home builds are probably about 20% over market, but let's see what the price per square foot is right now. Usually I like the smaller ones. So $150, $151 a square foot. You can see that's really overpriced. But let's look at a smaller one real quick. So here's a bit of a smaller one at 2,600 square feet. This is already pending at $146 a square foot. So, in other words, you guys, it's kind of a dangerous time right now to be purchasing new home builds. So, if you're out there, planning on purchasing, you may want to wait a little bit on the new home builds, because on top of that, what also you're going to find is on these new home builds that the property taxes are going to increase the second year of ownership, because the new home builders are paying property taxes on dirt because houses aren't complete. Why would they pay taxes on a house that's not complete? It doesn't make sense. So when you're going to purchase new home builds, you got to be especially careful that your mortgage loan officer and your lender is properly setting up your escrow and doing a proper, what's called an aggregate adjustment, so that if you do purchase a new home build, you're not stuck in year two with a $10,000 property tax bill, which happens all the time. So watch out for that, guys. Now, I want to end this video just with some overall thoughts and conclusions that I've developed now that I've reviewed this data. So essentially, my conclusions are we're definitely experiencing signs of a cool down. We need these trends to continue, because generally we do see an increase of inventory this year, but we haven't been seeing that for a very long time just because of the supply and demand issues. But we're finally starting to see signs of a cooling. I'm saying it's going to get so out of control, it will lead to a crash. Metro area, depending on the metro area, it's going to depend on the amount of negative equity or even if it will crash at all. But I just want you guys to remember my projections. I'm saying August, 700 to 800,000 active listings. I'm saying Q3, we're probably going to be going into a recession, although now that may be earlier than Q3 of this year, the start of a recession. And I'm also saying Q4 of this year, we're going to experience part of the nation go into negative equity and go into a housing market crash starting Q4 of this year. But I'm also saying Q3 of this year, you may find some buying opportunities if you're very active in your housing market. So, I'm going to conclude on this, you guys. Stay prepared, stay hopeful, and stay confident on what you're doing right now. Better to pass on a deal than get a bad deal. Better a higher interest rate than an overpriced house. Remember those things, you guys. Be confident in your decisions and don't rush the biggest financial transaction of most people's lives, and probably your lives. Now, as always, you guys, I really appreciate you watching this video. I appreciate you following along with me in my journey, and I plan on purchasing real estate on my channel and showing you guys my strategies. But as of right now, it's just analyzing data and waiting, unfortunately. And if you guys can, remember, comment below. Let me know about what's going on in your housing market and what you're seeing. Now, obviously, if you're investing in real estate, I do wish you luck, and I hope you win.